All right. Hello, everyone. Let's jump in, shall we? So, for a long time, actually, in fact, I was just searching for this Twitter thread that I had made just the other week. But in the process of searching for that, I actually found this one I wrote, gosh, almost 3 years ago now, of kind of wanting to work on a script. And it surprises me that this still kind of hasn't been done. So kind of looking at this more modern script, modern tweet, basically I was asking, hey, what are your favorite commands for cleaning up, merge, stale, git branches? And of course, there are all sorts of hacky, pipe-ish commands you can do to like make this work. But it's just one of those things where I'm kind of surprised there's not like just a solution for this. So again, a lot of people said, "Oh, I do git patch fee, and then I'll remove the ones that don't exist. I'll do this particular git fetch, and then I manually delete branches for local stuff." Tekken had something here. There's all sorts of blog posts. There's some stuff that people have added to kind of their shell little scripts, or they've configured Git to have like a custom alias that does some script. So there's all sorts of stuff out there, and of course these work. You can definitely use these or borrow one of these, but I just think there's an opportunity to kind of tighten them up. They still don't do like all of what I want to do, to kind of delete the branches. So, and this is actually something I had tackled a long time ago. Paul Irish actually made this way better than I did, but I originally wrote kind of like this GH command that was out there, and he kind of made it cross-platform and like put it on npm, where you could actually just install it as a script through npm just to make life a little easier. Of course, you can just download the script yourself and put it in your kind of local path, but you can also kind of install it through that. So that just like really shot this thing off. But as you can see, this hasn't really been changed that much. Like it does what it does. And this was kind of a precursor to things like Hub, which is GitHub's command line integration tools. This git open kind of does a very, very similar thing. Sometimes, I'm on the command line and I just want to open up the branch or the repo even, or the PR or whatever, out on GitHub, out on Bitbucket, out on GitLab, wherever it is. And that's what this command kind of originally did. Now, of course, there's all sorts of more modern commands to do this now, but it's still pretty popular, and I still use it to this day. So I do think there's opportunity to, well, actually, you know what? Let's just demo that command real quick. So I can just do something like git open, and this is going to fire this repo up in Chrome, which is just my default browser. And let's make this larger, shall we? Okay, so this is what I'm working on, kind of the same concept, and I borrowed some of the initial scripting that was in git open, just to again just have that cross-platform stuff kind of out of the box. So this is going to be a standalone script. It's not necessarily going to be an alias or anything like that gets added based on some of these other responses. But we will kind of use some of these other responses that were listed here. So let's kind of jump into the code. So right now, again, all I really did was kind of take their header. I started to update some of this git trim, kind of the spec for it. This will just output things kind of in a git-esque kind of help page format. So to that point, let's kind of start drawing out the spec so we can all kind of get on the same page of what we're doing here. So we could basically say something like remove all branches, all local branches, except default, or something like that. So, and then stale would be, stale would kind of be like remove all local branches not on remotes. And then merged would be remove all local branches merged, already merged. And then there needs to be kind of another one, and this is really probably just a placeholder for like prune. So this would be like prune, and maybe you can specify optionally like which remote to prune from. So we could say something like remove or prune, remove local branches no longer on remote. It's kind of the same as this. It's kind of the same. This removes all, whereas this would just remove the ones that are not on a remote. It seems like you should probably specify the remote, but we'll leave that alone for now. So if we take a look at this, we kind of get a lot of this for free. So if we do something like, just right now, since I don't have this all set up, let's just do bash get trim -h. We get this nice little output here of like usage, what it does, you know, this line, and then all the available options. So we could see something like this. We get all this for free. And if we start, I kind of started hacking on this, but if we do something like get trim -a, we kind of get some debugging output here that I've added into the script itself. So basically I just kind of default all these things. So it's like all stale merged, and then the remotes that you would want to. This is just going to output the number of arguments that were passed. So in this case, it's seeing that as 2, but I think it always includes the full script, the full bit here in 1, kind of like PHP includes as the 0th argument, like the name of the script. So that's why you're seeing 2 there. And then I started tracking remotes. This is kind of where I started messing around last night. Parsing options in Shell is a little ugly. There's a couple different ways to do it. Again, this is kind of the way that get open script did it. So I'm kind of just relearning it. But for now, I'll leave kind of these gross little echoes, but we can see here that ultimately if I do -a, it's going to say all and then 1. Speaking of which, let's turn on my do not disturb. I've been missing that the last few times. I saw something come across on my phone down here. Okay, so there's no remotes that were passed in, but if we were to say something like -- remote equals, you know, origin or something, we see that remotes gets put in the origin. Now this should probably get turned on as well, but again, not perfect. So I think what I want to do right now is we could probably just hack on, like go down the line and start hacking on a couple of these based on the scripts that people kind of already shared from the internet. So we'll just kind of like figure out where those fit into kind of these different types of options that I want to support. And I may support more, I may reword these, some of these may be overlapping, I don't know yet. Let's just kind of get in here and see what it looks like. So right now I'm just exiting. So here, if we're not in a Git repo, then, you know, we just would bail out, so we could actually leave that. And then now I think is where we probably want to, I think this was left over from the original bit. I think I left this because we probably are going to want to check to see if remotes like exist. So I was just kind of leaving that as a future check. So let's just do some simple ones here. Let's do something maybe like merged, right? So merge should be pretty straightforward, and I think that was out on the internet. So let's go take a peek. For local, I have this, stales, yeah. Here we go. So alias to get branch, yeah, DM alias to get branch dash merge. Don't do any of, or exclude any of master, main, and dev. See, that's kind of ugly. So let's go to another branch. I think what I'm going to do is I'll open up another workspace. Let's go to laravelshift.com. And so let's do something like get branch -a. So we can see here that I have a crap load of old branches that have definitely been merged. They're stale. I don't use these anymore. There's a lot of things that's going on here. So we could do get branch, just to kind of learn these commands. We could do get branch -- merged. And we would see that all of these have been merged. Now, to the point of what Dorinda has here, he basically greps out any of the branches you're not kind of currently on. So like, for example, if you were if you were tracking staging or master, if you were doing like, you know, different type of branching strategies, like you may not, there might be certain branches you might not want to remove. That's going to be the hard part. So he's kind of said main and master, or anything, of course, not current would be that. And then he's thrown in dev. Yeah. That might be okay. That might be okay. We'll see here. I guess we gotta start somewhere, right? And let me know in the chat what your opinion is. But to start somewhere, let's basically just say if merged, then we would want to do something here. So let's just kind of fire this off. Let's just say kill local merged branches, right? So let's just see if we actually kind of see that message if we go back to -m. Get trim line 59 merged. Oh, whoops. I think we actually need to make that a $. Command not found. Oh, yeah, bash is like, or I guess shell's weird. You have to like evaluate it. So we'd have to test it if it's like, and I think for numbers, you'd want to do like equal to 1 or something like that. There we go. Kill all local merged branches. And if I take that off, then we won't see that anymore. Okay, so this is working the way we want. So now when we're in here, what I'd probably want to do is get the branches. So we could say branches, or that's not $. This is branches. It's PHP. I'm so used to PHP. And then we would evaluate like get branch -- merged, and then pipe that through to grep -v, and then anything that didn't start, or well, it's really, what did Dorinda have here? It's kind of anything that doesn't start with a /*, or it is master, main, or dev. It's kind of weird. Yeah, that's kind of ugly. I don't know if we'd be able to write that expression on grep land. It's kind of like, well, let's just say main or master for right now. We'll just say main or master. Let's see what this pulls out. And so let's dump out branches. I think this will give us, I think this gives us an array. No, it doesn't. Do you have to $sign this? I think you have to $sign that. Okay, it gives us star main. What would that give us on this repo is kind of the question. I wonder if I can run that cross-platform here. Let's say bash, or cross-project here. Let's say bash. Where did I put that? Get trim -m. Okay, good. It actually dumped. Now, is that an array though, is kind of the question. Probably not. And it did pull master. But it's because I'm saying the whole thing can't be master. I think the thing to do would probably be to cut these down. Yeah, I think the thing to do would be this. Let's get all of these. There we go. And let's go ahead and like cut those down. Let's figure out how to do that. Let's do a, what we got in the chat? Oh, hello everybody. Oh, thumbs down. Wow. Thumbs down. Just people don't like shell scripting. Yeah, I don't blame you. It's not so awesome. Let's just see if we can get one of these knocked out. But I really just wanted to share the idea. So let's see here. let's say shell parse command into array. There we go, parse command output. Let's see what we have here. I really, gosh, I hate articles. I really just want like Stack Overflow. Okay, so bash greater than 4, use map file. It's the most efficient. To get the output of a command in an array with one line per element, there are essentially 3 ways. Okay, so otherwise we can loop, or might be to better perform a loop. So what is this? Map file -t my array greater and then the command. Whoa. What version of bash am I using? Bash -- version, is that real? I'm only on 3, so that's what comes with Mac OS. So I won't be able to use that. We'd kind of have to do this, I guess. Also loop slower but safe as suggested. The following might perform better than the loop. Okay, so read that, do this command, and then print out the null stop to make it through. Ugh. Yeah, that's kind of ugly. It seems like you can just actually capture that into an array. Let's just see if that works real fast. Can we take this whole thing into an array like that? It looks like it. So we could just wrap this output into an array, and I wonder what this does. It just says demo. I think it just says the first one. I think to print the whole thing out, you have to do like something like this. It's kind of nasty, but I think this works. Yeah, there we go. They're all on a line now. And I think if we do something like this, oops, we should be, come on. Why did it copy that whole thing? That's kind of ugly. I think if you put like a hash there, it gives you the output. So it has 11 lines. That actually worked pretty well. I wonder what, like, I think, can you cross-reference this? Yeah, you can. That actually does exactly what we want. Let's pipe this in just to make sure I'm not getting like any white space, and I'm not. So this works pretty well, just to map it straight into an array. It seems like bash does the right thing. Okay, cool. So we have all of the things, and then on this one we should have none, 0, because the only branch is main, and that's the current branch that we're on. So basically we would do something like if empty, then, you know, echo no branches. Let's just write this. This is stupid. We can just say if can you do pound branches here? I don't know how to evaluate that. I don't know how to evaluate that count. I guess you would say something like hash branches, maybe? And this, do we do the greater than? Not equal? Is equal to 0? Or dash EQ? I don't know if that's right. Then echo no merged branches, just for now. And then exit 1, and then fur. All right, let's see what this does. Nope. Branches value too great for base. Yeah, that's probably not the right way to say. Let's do this. Bash get length of array. Stack Overflow. Echo $. Yeah, I guess you got to do the whole thing then. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Do I have to do that everywhere? From the bash manual, hash whatever parameter. The length of the array. Okay, so let's say, let's just wrap this and see if that works out. To that point, I shouldn't need that if that's the case. No branches merged. All right, cool, we're getting somewhere. And here we have 4, which is strange because there should be more than 4. So something that's not the same as this. That's 11. What does this do? I'm not sure the differences. I'll have to read up on bash arrays. We'll see. So I'm on bash 5. Oh, Adrian, hey, are you bash 5? Are you like on Monterey, or are you on something else? Are you Linux or something? Monterey. I don't think I've upgraded to Monterey, so it might not be there yet. Let's keep going. Let's see if we can actually get these looped over and removed, right? Okay, so we're going to collect all these branches. If it's equal to 0, then no branches are merged, and then otherwise we would want to loop over each one of the branches. So we could say something like bash loop through array. Oh gosh, why does it keep doing that? Stack Overflow, I want you. All right, so same thing, we've got this array, here we are, and then we can basically loop over this. Let's see what some other people have. Do, I kind of like the do on the same line. Let's do it on the same line. And then we could say something here like branches at, and then we could say branch, and let's just echo out the branch. So let's see this in action. So that should do nothing, and this should blah, 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 all the stuff, right? Okay, so here is where we would want to say something like if, I'm writing PHP, I love it. If branch is equal to main, or, I think it's like or maybe, or -o. I think it's -o. Branch is equal to master, then let's just say echo skipping, and then we like fee that out for fee. All right, and we probably would need like a continue or something. Do they have a bash loop continue? Can you do that? Break in? Is it break? I don't know if you can continue or not. Bash continue in a for while loop. Says continue. Let's leave it. We'll see what happens. And then down here we'll echo branch again. Or well, we don't need to quote it. We can just say branch. All right, let's see what happens here. Syntax error, -o, no good. All right. Let's find out then. Branch or bash or operator. Oh, okay. They separate them. And they only have them in singles. I really need to like brush up on bash. It's been a long time. I think from like my very first job, I wrote a lot of Perl and shell scripts, but now not so much. So master doesn't appear to be in here anyway. Is that true? Get branch -- merged. Oh, master's here, but I'm on the branch, so I'm getting lucky. So let's do this. Let's do like a get checkout tests, because that is merged, but it won't be master. So now when we do this, we don't even get master listed on here. So either gets automatically excluding that. Oh no, it's merged relative to this branch. Okay, so to trick this, I would have to go back to master, git checkout dash b, like master, let's just say master copy. Now we can do git branch dash dash merged, and master should show up here. So if we run this, skipping, there we go. So it is skipping master now, and we could actually just leave that in there as a variable so we can see it. So skipping master, good. Okay, so this is how we would get around this. And kind of the reason I didn't really put all that together, sorry, is maybe some people might want to specify this. I could see if this got popular, like having some kind of like, you know, git config or config file associated with this, that like you would just tell it which branches you would normally skip within a repo, so you can easily clean them up, and then this becomes obsolete. It would default to main and master, but if you had configured it, then it would maybe check if you were in a list of those, right? So that's kind of why I didn't want to kind of like grep that out the way kind of Dorinda had it in his. Like this works for his, because you know he knows he has a workflow this way, but you know we may do something else. So now we should be able to simply just do like git branch dash d branch name. And here we go. So there we go. That's exactly what I wanted. Deleting, 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 deleting. And we'll just let git do the output. There's no reason for us to do anything fancy here. So now if I do git branch dash dash merged, we should have master, of course, because we didn't remove it. So hey, how's that for doing it live? So now we can do git checkout dash to go back to master. And if we do git branch merged, we have master copy, and let's just say I want to get rid of that as well. So we can run this again, and we deleted the master branch. So there we go, merged works now. So this is all we would want to do for merged. Awesome, cool. So I think another one, I might not live stream this, but let's just set it up. So let's do something like pruned. In pruned, I think someone shared a pretty good one for pruned. Yeah, I think it was Tom had a git forget, and then I think someone, yeah, and then Paul had like a addition to this. So what he does is git fetch p, and then he checks to see like what has been removed, and then removes them locally, like forcibly. So let's kind of see what this looks like. So if I do something like git what is this, git fetch dash p. So we can see in here that none. Oh, I think there's none. There's no matching branch locally, I think is what they're after. So gone, I think, is what they parse out. And branch dash VV, what does branch dash VV do? Git branch dash VV. Whoa. Oh, gone, here you go. Do I still have this branch locally? I do still have this branch locally. Okay, so here's what this would do. You're running git branch, or sorry, git fetch dash p, which effectively, I guess, just updates and lists the pruned branches. I'll have to read up on exactly what that does, the dash p. And then he runs this git branch VV and pulls out gone. So the fetch basically figures out what branches are still out there, or what branches have been, I guess, removed from your remote, in this case, origin. And then it'll kind of filter these out by ones that say gone, and it knows that, you know, hey, this has already been, you know, pruned on the remote, and therefore I would want to remove it locally. And in this case, they're doing git branch dash D because they don't want it. Now awk, I guess, splits this up on gone and prints 1, which I assume is the first column of data. It treats these probably as arguments. So that's my guess of how that works. So $1, I'm not super Awk's pretty crazy to me. I'm normally more of a grep person. But yeah, that's my guess, is it probably pulls that out. And in this case, it would remove those things. So let's run this list command to kind of see this work, right? So we could say something like get fetch dash p and get branch dash vv, and then we're going to pipe that to awk, and this is going to be gone, space gone, end bracket slash that, and the command that we want to use is print $1 and close out the awk command. All right, so there we go. So all of these branches are still floating around locally, and this is the point of the whole script. Like, look how many branches I just have over the years of working on Shift that I didn't even really know were here, and they could just be removed. Like, they're not on the remote. They've already been removed up there, which, you know, again, I kind of treat what's on GitHub as the truth. I keep it pretty clean, but my local branches on my Mac, on my iMac, on my MacBook Pro, like, they're everywhere, right? And I'm sure that's the case for a lot of developers out there. And that's why I want to make this command. Instead of like people sharing these one-line scripts in all the different ways that they've written them, just have one that really covers all the options. It'll delete all your branches. It'll delete just merge branches. It'll clean up stuff that's no longer on a remote. It'll remove something that's not local from the remote. Like, it'll sync, like, just kind of hit those 4 or 5 common use cases. So with that, I think instead of watching me hack around on Bash, we can probably just make a little comment and stop here. But definitely comment on this Twitter thread, you know, DM me, whatever it is. Let me know if you think of any other use cases. Again, I definitely want to finish this up, probably over the weekend. I was supposed to be taking a little trip in preparation for Laravel 9 just to kind of reset, recharge. I should be snowboarding right now, but we had an ice storm here in Louisville, and they canceled our flight like a day ahead of time. I think in expectation that it was going to be bad. It really wasn't that bad of an ice storm. Like, it's totally fine, but I understand why they probably didn't want to try to take off in that. So anyway, so pruned. Let's copy this command that we wrote. So we basically would want to run this command. It's equivalent to what we're doing here. And then we would kind of do the same thing. We would just, in fact, we don't even do this anymore because, hey, if you somehow removed your main branch, you know, then hey, it's gone. Like, that's fine. So here we'll say the same thing. Let's just kind of say branches are equal to running that command. And that's that command. We'll turn that into an array. So here we'll just say if pruned is equal to 1, then get all those branches. And in this case, yeah, somehow if they're you know, if that is empty, we would say something like no local branches need to be trimmed or something. I don't know. We'll figure out the right wording later. So, and then here would just be get -d. This is capital D to just force the deletion of it. And I don't think I have pruned up here. So let's recreate pruned, and pruned. All right, fingers crossed. So if I go back up to my bash script and type help, we should now see pruned or pruned. There we go. That should be right now. And now we should be able to say -p, hopefully, fingers crossed. And we're going to get, oh, fatal branch name required. Uh-oh. What did I break? Oh, we're not looping. Duh. All right, so let's get in the loop here. No pun. And done, I think it was, right? Done. Yes. Okay, cool. Let's change this to that. Look at that. There we go. Get branch. So we're getting there. I think these are now considered stale, and that's kind of the next one to capture. Now that one's going to be a bit tougher to hack around, so I'll definitely want to mess with that. But if we look at like get branch dash VV, we could just see here like S3, like these were never pushed. These were things like I worked on locally, and they're just like, they're kind of weird. And so I think what I might do with those is like a get, I could do something like get diff master dot S3 or something. I think what I might do is just see like, hey, if this branch is like behind, if they're divergent in some kind of threshold of a way, right? And maybe that's a parameter you pass. Maybe you pass something like, you know, get trim dash S 10. So like if you have any branches that are more than 10 behind your current branch, then it would remove those. It would treat them as stale and remove them for you. So that might be kind of what stale does. Now that's pretty advanced. So I think I'm gonna need to get into some Git magic and figure out how I can tell like commits and so forth. But it's definitely, that's obviously possible, because if we get out here and look at the branches that are out on GitHub, like they clearly calculate that it's 24 commits behind, one ahead. So like this would be an example of a stale branch, right? So yeah, they even can calculate stale branches. So I might just do like, to Adrian's point, I might just do something like GitHub calculate stale branches. Like, there we go. So I'll probably just kind of see how they look at this, right? Like not merged. Yeah, they do a log, no merges, and it's behind a certain date maybe. We'll kind of see how that looks. So I'll do some research on the web and see how other people are doing it, but clearly Git calculates staleness. I mean, look at that. Hundreds of commits behind. Maybe that's just the default threshold, or a certain age maybe. We'll see what other things do. So anyway, thanks for joining live. I hope to have this done probably next week. You know, maybe around Laracon. I might, like I said, work on it a little over the weekend since we're home now for the ice storm. But yeah. Oh, sorry, there's some good points in the chat. So Adrian, Bash 5, seems you are writing bash scripts like me. Google, copy, paste, modify. Yes, I don't retain shell script syntax in my head. It's deep in there. It's enough to know kind of how to hack it, and if it doesn't work, then yeah, I definitely Google. This is how we all program though. Hey, let's be real. Keep in mind that Gone depends on the OS language. Do you mean language as in the OS platforms, or do you mean language as in spoken language? Like in your case, I guess, you know, German or whatever. You probably mean like spoken language, but you said OS language, so I just wanted to make sure you didn't mean like platform. Like, does it say something different on Windows than Gone? I don't think so, because it's Git and that should be pretty uniform. But you're right. Yeah, it might not say Gone for other spoken languages. So I'm going to assume that's what you mean, and that's a good point. I will have to. There might be a different flag I can look for to determine that instead of relying on language. So that's a good point. Thank you. Okay, cool. Well, thanks for joining me live, and I will, I don't know when I'm going to stream next, but I'll see you all next time.